Hello everybody and welcome back to Crusader Kings, where we are currently working on dealing with this vassal limit issue. It's getting worse. We now have 5 direct vassals. I mean, a lot of that is going to be because people who have double kingdom titles are going to be on like High Partition and Confederate Partition, things like that, and their titles are going to get split up on succession. So we do expect that there's going to be a proliferation of kings, shall we say. That is absolutely going to be a thing that happens. For the time being, maybe we need to just allow our vassal limit to be exceeded and just work on taking over territory over this way, because we do have Reverence for Veterans getting established in 27 years. Now that's a ways away, for sure. There's no doubt about that. We're also a ways away from Bombards, and court officials will be done in 13 years and 19 years for Bombards. Cool. So I think we're just going to exceed our vassal limit. Like, realistically, I don't think there's that big of a penalty for doing that at this point in the game. We are so wildly overpowered compared to everyone else that I think it doesn't really matter. You can see here, most of our levies, or actually you can't see here, most of our levies do in fact come from our vassals. I'm not sure where exactly we can see how many of our levies come from vassals. Ah, there we go. So we can see that 76,638 come from vassals, and 130 gold per month comes from vassals as well. Now, our gold is currently negative. I think that is because we are reinforcing our men-at-arms. Yes, that will be the case. We're going to want to take a break from expansion fairly soon, but we're not at that point yet. We need tech for that. So I think we need to come down here and just clean up some of this territory. That'll be fine, and we'll start with this king here. Now, of course, we are truce to him, so we can't actually start there. But we will go ahead and come in over here. We can just do like a holy war for county. That'll be fine. And then we could go after like this lady as well. Sure, we'll take Medina. And there's just a number of locations down here we'd like to go after. Forced vassalization here would probably be the best way. Okay, and then, let's see, this is only a single conquest, or a single county, rather. So we'll go for that, and we'll declare on this guy. Just lots of declarations. Yeah, we're going to need to force vassalize him. Okay. And we'll go for this guy as well. There we go. That'll do for now. And we'll raise up troops over here. Men-at-arms and levy troops. Perfect. So he got a holy order. That's fine. I'm not too concerned about that. We'll go to about 10k levy troops. Okay, this is 30. That's not exactly 10k. We're going to leave these guys behind, and these guys will head on in over here. Then we're going to split off our trebuchets, and these guys will go with. These guys will all group together. We will get a siege commander, and there we go. We'll head on in over this direction. Actually, they need to come over here as well. So all of our troops will head on over. We'll select all of these with the exception of our siege force. So we will shift-click to deselect that. We'll group these guys together. Cool. And we'll head on in over here. This shouldn't be a problem. We should stack wipe this, I think. We did declare a lot of wars. There's no doubt about that, but that'll be fine. We will take these guys down over this way and start a slow siege. And this is also going to be a lot of vassals, but we're going to be able to toss those into kingdoms over this way, so I'm not too concerned about that. Like, Mesopotamia can probably expand down and encompass most, if not all, of this peninsula. So that'll be fine. These guys will come over and start their siege. This war is over, so we will enforce those demands, and that will, of course, need to be granted on out. And we'll toss that into this kingdom for the time being. Cool. So no real problem there. We'll get most of the Arabian Peninsula conquered pretty quickly here. This will get stack wiped, no problem. These guys are coming this way, which is foolish. We do need a new spy master, and we will get this guy. There we go. Now, are they going to lock into attacking us? Yes, they are. Okay. If that's what they want to do. So we'll allow this slow siege. Actually, we're just going to leave. We've gotten basically no progress here. I'd like to come fight this force. So that'll be fine. We do require a new chancellor. This king will do. Cool. And they're going to come in over here. Hilarious. That war's actually over. We're not going to allow that to fight. So we're going to stop that particular war. We will grant that here. And then I feel like at this point, this coast could be granted over here. So we'll grant that vassal over. Cool. And these guys, they can come take back this territory. We can come attack over here instead. That'll be fine. They're retreating. I'm okay with that. We could split this force in half, and we probably should, in all honesty. We've got more than enough troops to do so. So we can do something like this and kill two birds with one stone here. One of these wars was invalidated because... Was it this guy? It was this war, I think. No. Which war was it? This war was invalidated because this guy ended up dying of natural causes. Very rude. But we'll get him later. That does mean we need to come down over here. And these guys will head down this direction. Arda is a constant scourge upon our life, apparently. And that causes us to be overwhelmed by stress. Okay. Well, that's fine. We will come down here and get this siege done. Okay. Let's head over here and stack wipe this force. We have a diplomacy perk available, and we'll take flexible truces to shorten our truce duration. And I think we're just going to embark and head over here. We have plenty of cash. I'm not concerned about that. I'd like to get the war score, if at all possible. Okay, this war is now over, and we will enforce that. That will, of course, be granted over to this guy, who will in turn be granted maybe into Persian Syria. No, I'm going to grant him to Mesopotamia. It's going to be a little awkward for right now, but all of this over here will be granted to Mesopotamia. So that'll be fine. Okay, so that is dealt with. I would like these guys to come over here. Cool. Sure, show him in. And we will come over and fight this force next. That was a stack wipe, so that's pretty solid. Reasonably okay with that one. These guys need orders, and their orders are to come over here and get us ticking war score. So that is this war here. Cool. These guys can, I guess, come down here and start a slow siege. That's fine. And yeah, this will be no problem whatsoever. We've got 3 wars remaining here. We'll have to redeclare this one, but that's okay. No real concern there. We do have a dangerous faction. What is this? Peasants? Liberty. And peasants. Okay, we should probably attempt to do something about this king here. We've got a son. No problem. Okay. Now, I would have probably allowed this Liberty faction to fire. And maybe I should have, actually. I'll think about it. This war is now over, so we'll enforce those demands. And that goes up over this way. Okay, so that can go directly into Mesopotamia. Cool. And then these guys can come on over here. And begin a slow siege. Excellent. We have a daughter. That's fine. Yeah, I think we're going to allow the Liberty faction to fire if it comes back up. For now, it's not an issue, but it may come back up soon. We'll keep an eye on that. Really? This guy died of heart failure. So this war is now irrelevant. Okay. And all we've got is this war left. Well, that's unfortunate. We'll have to redeclare this war. I guess that's fine. I mean, it's completely okay. It does make me sad, though. How's our truce going with this guy? We're still truced here. And these guys, they're going to be disbanded. They'll take up to 9 months to return home. That's fine. We do actually have a dangerous faction here. Is this just peasants? This is just peasants. I'm not concerned about peasants in the slightest. So that's fine. We are, of course, above our vassal limit right now. That's to be expected. That'll continue to get worse for a bit. Okay, let's get this war wrapped up. And there we go. We'll enforce those demands. Disband our troops. And this will be granted out to this noble, and that will be moved into Mesopotamia as well. Cool. So we have a number of more wars that we can declare here. I want to take a closer look here at the Liberty faction. It looks like that's not going to be a problem. Okay. So I'm not too concerned about that. This is an emirate over here. A duchy rank realm. So we should definitely go for a... We could subjugate him? That's actually funny. We can't force vassalize this guy. We can't subjugate him either. What's the religion of this guy? Ah, that would be why we can subjugate him. Okay. Well, no real problem there. We're just going to force vassalize him. We'll declare here as well. In fact, we should declare here too. No, that's not going to happen. Okay, so we'll declare here forced vassalize, and we will continue to move our way over this way. This guy could die before we get that done, but we'll go ahead and continue to work on all of this forced vassalization over this way. So, new wars. Fantastic. We'll raise up our troops up over this way. Men-at-arms and levy troops. Cool. So this is more than enough in terms of levy troops. They're going to head on in. And the men-at-arms will follow as soon as they arrive in 2 months. Actually, are we going to wait this whole time? I think we don't need to. We can continue to raise levy troops here. Or rather, men-at-arms troops here. But then we can group these together and then get our siege force ready to go. Then these guys can come back out over this way, and we put in a siege commander. And we can then wait on these guys. That'll be fine. 20 days there. This war is now over, so that's fine. We will go ahead and enforce those demands, and he immediately moves into Mesopotamia. Excellent. And our men-at-arms will be finished in a moment here. There we go. So yeah, that was like half of our men-at-arms force. So it's definitely a good thing that we did that. We don't see any enemy troops over this way, so we're going to head down over here. And these guys, they're going to head over... That's actually awkward. They're going to turn around and head this direction and siege here. Sounds good. Betrothed can marry. That's okay. I want to check in on the Liberty faction. Oh, we died. From the complications of flagellation. Well, that instantly means that all of these wars are invalidated. So we don't get to do anything there. Cool. So we are 6 direct vassals above our limit. And we need to change our primary title back to being this. So we'll make that be our primary. Cool. And we're over our limit here. Let's take a look at our wife situation. 13 stewardship isn't amazing, but we'll put her onto managed domain. We will need a chancellor, and that will be this guy. We'll need a steward. That will be this guy. A marshal, this guy. And a spy master would be... this guy. Okay. There we go. Our heir is unmarried, and we will go for someone with high stewardship. How old are you? You're 16? Okay. This'll do. Perfect. We do need a lifestyle focus, and we do have stewardship here. So we're going to go for domain focus in hopes of getting our domain limit up a little bit more. It looks like we didn't get it up very far, but we can grant this title out. And let's see here. This is not the county capital. We grant this one out. That puts us at 12 of 12. So these factions, we do expect there to be factionalism, but there isn't really right now. We'll take a look at that in a bit. 6 direct vassals above our limit is unsurprising. That's completely expected. And that does mean that we don't have access to forced vassalization again. So that's a little problematic. That's for sure. That death was awkward. Very awkward indeed. But it seems to be relatively okay. We do have quite an independence faction here. So can we negotiate with any of these? I don't necessarily want to make this independence faction go away, but I want it to be a little smaller than this for sure. So can we just straight up negotiate with any of these? The answer is a definite maybe. Let's see. No. Okay, so we can't do that. Do we have a Liberty faction as well? We do. So we only want one of these to actually fire. We'll see if we can negotiate with any of these guys. The answer appears to be a solid no. Yeah, that's a big ol' no. Okay. So we'll need to arrange a marriage here, and this will be completely fine. Do we have siblings that can be used for this as well? Yes, we do. We can... Concubine options are pretty limited. We can bring in any unmarried siblings here. So, like, this guy we invite to court. This girl we invite to court. This guy we invite to court. And this girl we invite to court. Okay, so they'll join our court. Fantastic. And we'll be able to use them as additional bargaining chips. So we'll be able to do something, say, here. Oh yeah, this is very easy. We'll use our half-sister first. He would not accept this. He has the wrong religion. Okay. Odds of him converting are very low. We'll try it. We'll get this guy out of this faction. Once again, half-sister first. Okay. And he'll convert for a hook. We'll accept on that one. And then he'll probably, like, put himself on our council or something. We'll use a half-sister here to get him out of there and reset that faction. Then we'll come down to the Liberty faction here, and we'll arrange a marriage here with our half-brother and... wait, actually, we need to look at this guy. There we go. We've got a daughter here and half-brother. Perfect. He would not accept this. He has the wrong religion as well. We'll try his conversion. We'll see what he thinks about that. We do want one faction to fire. He'll do it for a hook. Okay. So he'll convert, and then we will get this faction to reset using our half-brother as a bargaining chip here. Wonderful. So we do expect the factions to return. Both of them. That's fine. Yep, there's the independence faction coming up. This is not too bad for the moment, but I think we will negotiate with this guy as well. Ah. This bug. We have to break this betrothal, and then we put it right back. I really wish that it didn't work this way, but it does. We should be able to just negotiate that, but unfortunately we can't. So we'll reset that faction, and then we'll come down to the Liberty faction here. This is actually not a powerful faction yet, so we'll keep an eye on the Independence faction. We may not need to negotiate with any others here, because we do want to fight the Independence faction. That is something that we want. But we don't want to also fight the Liberty faction. So we're going to see about doing something with this guy. Arranging a marriage, say, with our daughter here. That'll reset the Liberty faction without resetting the Independence faction, although we probably do want to lessen the power of this without making it completely go away. Okay, they're currently related, but that's fine. So something along the lines of this. We're going to reset the Independence faction again. And we're just pulling like 11% strength out of it. Ah, that didn't actually reset it. This guy is in charge now. And we don't really have any other bargaining chips to work with. Well, we do. We have a son. Okay. But he doesn't have any daughters. Well, any unmarried No, he does. Okay, that'll work. We have a half-brother as well. So we can bounce this faction 2 more times. Again, I do want this faction to actually fire, but not at this strength level. To be clear, we could defeat the faction at that strength level. But I did want to pull some people out of it. Okay. Let's check it through our other factions, make sure we're not having any other issues. Potential problems with the Liberty faction after the main faction fires. We can negotiate with this guy. That'll pull some power out of there without resetting that faction. I think that's okay. And any of these others, are they new? Can we negotiate with any of these? Potentially we can. We'll see. I don't want to reset this faction again if we can at all help it. Nothing here. Okay. So we could try to pull like this guy out of the faction. That wouldn't actually work. Lack of children. Okay, sure. We could go with like pulling this lady out of the faction. She's only 9%, but that will still help. Okay. This faction feels very beatable. And they're going to fire. Now, this guy is Mesopotamia. Okay, we just gave him a bunch of territory, and he's pretty upset. And that's because we basically instantly died. So, we can raise up troops here. When is this going to fire? 4 months? We should hold off on that. Actually, this guy is the faction leader. We don't necessarily want to capture the faction leader, though. Mesopotamia should give us sufficient war score, I think. Is there anyone else nearby? If it doesn't? No. Okay, what about nearby this guy? Yes, actually. So we could go after, say, this guy. But I think we'll start up here. Hopefully we don't actually catch this guy. That would be a little awkward if we did. But yeah, we're going to allow this faction to fire. We could probably do something about letting it not fire. But we want these guys imprisoned. Okay, so they can fire in 2 months. We'll start to raise our men-at-arms and our levy troops. We're going to need to raise about twice as many as we think we're going to need to raise. So we're going to raise around 20,000 here. Something along the lines of this looks good. And we'll let those finish up. And these guys will fire very, very shortly here. So that'll be okay. Yep, they can send their ultimatum at any time. We are already set up here. We'll get our trebuchets and our siege force set up, and we'll have a siege commander here. Perfect. We're good to go. However, it is about time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to fight this faction. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and special thanks to all the channel members for making this video possible. Those members include Spartan News and Rose Valentine, and all the rest, which currently is only one and the rest, so that's a wee bit awkward there. But also, of course, thanks to you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, click the join button below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.